What's up again, everyone? Let's talk about another crazy Golden Age combo. This one is particularly interesting because it is both an OTK as well as a fully global-based damage-dealing combo. And again, I cannot take credit for this idea behind the win con. I first read about this in one of the DM North gameplay articles. If you haven't heard about them, the DM North team are a bunch of guys from Canada that run their own Dice Masters website, complete with blog posts about their weekly matches. In one of the blogs, the writer played against this combo and it actually took a loss to it. The team was already a cool one, and the fact that it pulled out a win against a tough opponent was just icing on the cake. I asked around for the name of the guy who put it together, so everyone leave a huge shout out to Calgary Mike for this sweet combo. Forewarning, this combo takes a little bit more explaining than most, so settle in. First off, here's how we plan to win. Super rare Slifer, the Sky Dragon from the Yu-Gi-Oh set, has this sweet global that says pay a bolt and move a sidekick from your prep area to the used pile to deal 1 damage to target player. So in order to use this global, you must both pay a bolt and also have a sidekick die in prep so that you can pay the additional cost of moving it from prep to used. Yes, that is a cost. You do both things, you deal 1 damage to your opponent, or to you, I guess, if you wanted, making this like a fun OTK to either your opponent or yourself anyway. So how do we turn this into some sort of an OTK or even really just a viable win con? Let's talk about how we get sidekicks into our prep area. That's easy, we just use PXG since we're in Golden Age. 1 mask equals 2 sidekicks from used to prep. So with 1 PXG, we can set ourselves up to pay 2 bolts and move both of those newly prepped sidekicks back to used to deal 2 damage. We could then PXG again to prep those sidekicks again and pay 2 more bolts again and move those sidekicks back to used again to deal 2 more damage. Did I say again enough times? Now here are my very first few thoughts when I view this combo, and you may be having these thoughts as well. Man, that is expensive for 1 damage. Yes, it definitely is. So far, it's totally not worth it to pay 3 energy for 2 damage unless we can somehow loop this combo onto itself. Thought number 2, man, you really need some very specific energy rolls in order to pull even just 1 iteration of the damage off. Yes, you totally do, unless you make it easier with some other cards. So let's dive a little bit deeper. In order to pull off the current combo, you're going to need a lot of both masks and bolts. Masks for PXG, and bolts for Slifer's global. Let's try to simplify that. Rare Quasar says while active, you may spend any type of energy to activate global abilities. If we can get Quasar out, we only need bolts for both globals. What's a good low-cost character to feed us bolts? Common Chwinga. At 1 cost, we can scoop up all 4 of these very quickly and start racking up the bolts. Of course, it would help a lot if we had a way to guarantee that they roll on the double bolt side, and for that, look no further than the uncommon Rip Hunter. He's got this ability that reads, when fielded, name a non-sidekick die. While Rip Hunter is active, when you draw the named die, you may place it in your reserve pool on any face instead of rolling it. So add Rip Hunter to the list of characters we're looking to purchase alongside Quasar and Chwinga. Right now, the combo looks like this. Get Quasar out for ease of global usage, get Rip Hunter out and name Chwinga, buy up a bunch of Chwingas, get them out of the bag and onto their double bolt sides, and then pump a bunch of energy into PXG and Slifer's global to deal damage. Now, the next hurdle that we face is the huge expense involved in triggering these globals multiple times on a turn. Even with all of these Chwinga dice on double bolts, we're going to run out of energy in our reserve pool and we'll need to draw and roll more. Enter the very old school Pyro global from way back in the Uncanny X-Men set. The global states pay 2 bolts, draw and roll 2 dice from your bag, keep any bolt results rolled. Return the rest to your bag. So imagine drawing 2 Chwingas after activating this global. Because you drew them while Rip Hunter was active, you don't have to roll them and instead may place them on their double bolt sides, essentially netting you 2 bolts, seeing as you paid 2 to get 4. But wait, you say to your screen as you watch this isn't an OTK because whenever you spend energy on your turn, it moves out of play and stays there until your turn ends. So eventually, even if you're drawing stuff out of your bag to reload energy into your reserve pool, you're just going to run out of stuff to affect in the used pile and in your bag. And you'd be totally right if we use this combo on our own turn. But because the combo is 100% global based, we can actually use PXG, Pyro Global, and Slifer's Global on our opponent's turn where there is no out of play zone. If the dice that you use to pay for all of these globals now go straight to the used pile, then when you use Pyro's global to draw dice and you reach into an empty bag in an effort to draw 2, you now get to reload from your used pile any dice that you used previously to trigger Slifer or PXG. If you can manage to put the previously mentioned characters out in the field and thin your bag down to like only Chwinga dice, when you go to use the combo, you have yourself an endlessly looping bag on your opponent's turn. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an OTK that kills your opponent on their own turn. So here it is again in its entirety. Your goal is to buy Quasar and get it in the field. Then your goal is to buy Rip Hunter, and when you field him, name Chwinga, allowing you to place Chwinga dice on the double bolt side when you draw them. Then scoop up all of the Chwinga dice and start fielding and prepping as many sidekicks as you can on your own turn so that you have a bag with nearly only Chwinga dice. Also, don't forget to save some bolts to kick things off on your opponent's turn. Then when they pass priority to you on your turn, which they must do because it's in the rules, you use bolts to PXG any sidekicks out of your used pile, Pyro Global to get the Chwingas out of your bag and onto their double bolt faces in reserve, use several bolts to Slifer Global, PXG again, cycle your dice with Pyro Global, get more Chwingas on the double bolt side, Slifer again, PXG again, cycle again, Slifer again, PXG again, cycle again, and continue the process until you either kill your opponent or they concede because they don't feel like waiting it out. Good lord, this has to be the longest win con explanation I've ever given. 6 cards of your team dedicated to that OTK. Jeez. So what do we even do for the remaining 4 slots? I don't know, man. Figure it out yourself. Okay, fine, here's what I put down. We can put another win con on here, but at this point we're basically pot committed to the OTK with 6 cards dedicated to it. We've already got ramp, but we don't have any control. If any of our pieces get blanked, then we're dead. Single blankers like Shriek and Dwarf Wizard are good, but I went with the Captain Cold's Cold Gun because you can buy up several of them and store them out in the field. Then when you have your bag all lined up, you can use them to wipe your opponent's control pieces and get your OTK going. Yes, they'll clog up your bag a little bit when you send them to used, but hopefully you won't even need them. I mean, this is a friendly casual game of Dice Masters, right? Next up, I have the lowest of all hanging fruit, a Bolt Energy Fixer. Yes, you could totally put Merlin on here, and he very nearly counts as a backup win con on his own. I put Mjolnir on here for some reason, but I've since forgotten, so pay no attention to the man behind the curtain and rock Merlin for the energy fixing if you like. As for basic actions, let's keep loading up on control. Mutation gets dangerous stuff out of your opponent's field. It can be used against us as well, but hey, it's control. If you want to swap that out for something else, feel free. Finally, we have a brand new Warhammer 40k card that we're going to slap onto the basic action slot. This is Static Field. It has Distraction, Blink, Hawkingbird Global, whatever you want to call it, but essentially we pay 1 mask and push something out of the attack zone. That's great for us, both to keep our stuff from being taunted out and to hold back our opponent's attackers. So check it out. You've got an OTK that kills your opponent on their own turn, all global based, but can't really be accessed by your opponent even though it is global based. How cool is that? I challenge you guys out there to put this team together, give it a whirl, and if you can pick up a win with it, take a picture and send it to me on Facebook. If you have any fun, kooky, crazy combos that you want me to feature, feel free to drop me a line on Facebook at the DM Armada Facebook page, and I'll take a look at it. Also, if you want to be part of the giveaway that I'm going to be doing when I hit 1,000 subscribers, head back to the giveaway video that I posted a couple of days ago. Subscribe and leave a comment below that video and you'll be entered into the giveaway. Sounds like a lot of people like the idea of a custom mat. It's funny because I actually have a custom mat designed for the DM Armada YouTube channel, so maybe I'll just make some tweaks to that and go from there. As always, everybody, thanks for watching.